fellow constitutionalists. In this video today, we're going to be talking about Emma Gonzales. And we're going to talk about her from the point of view as why is she still relevant? Now, this is in the wake of everything that happened at the Waffle House in Antioch, Tennessee, the shootings by a young white man who was definitely out of his mind as far as he having mental issues. And the hero that actually stopped the shooting, James Shaw, was the hero there. But the left, and especially the anti-gun or the pro-gun control folks, using Emma Gonzales, still wants to put forth a narrative that, see, there's a, I think this is so stupid and funny at the same time. There's a guy here, no gun. He took the gun out of the hands of the perpetrator of the shooting without a gun. And they try to, like I said, they try to use this to advance their agenda. I'm laughing because it is so laughable. Now here we have a white man, and I won't use his name. We won't go into the articles too much, but the gunman was caught, apprehended on this past a week ago Monday. It took a little bit to find him. Witnesses say that he showed up about 3:25 a.m. at the Waffle House, and he started shooting outside. He went inside. 4 people eventually died. And then, like I said, James Shaw, and I think it was while he was the shooter was possibly changing magazines. James Shaw jumped in, grabbed the gun, threw it over the counter, but not before. Now, there's varying reports here, but he did burn his hands on the barrel of the gun. Now, some people said he got shot, but I don't think he did. I think it was just burns from the barrel. If you know anything about rifles, if you shoot a rifle, especially semi-automatic, and you do it enough times in a row, you're going to heat up the barrel, and it's going to get hot enough that you can actually burn skin off. You actually get third-degree burns from it. So we have this hero in James Shaw. He doesn't think he's a hero. I do, because he did stop the shooting. But the point that Emma Gonzales is going to make, and she put up a bunch of tweets and a bunch of tweets and twitters about this shooting, and it's, again, it amazes me what lengths these folks are going to go to support their narrative. Now, she starts off, this is April 22nd. Like I said, this was last Sunday. The FBI defines a mass shooting as 4 people killed, not including the shooter. Mass shootings occur in churches and schools, at concerts and Waffle Houses, just about anywhere except in other countries. And again, this is a false narrative that the pro-gun control folks are putting forward, and they're using this young girl and to advance their agenda. I was just reading an article yesterday that gun violence in the UK is up like 16%. And it's like, well, wait a minute. They've outlawed all guns. How in the world can gun violence be on the rise in the UK? So again, they get the narrative wrong. Absolutely, they get the narrative wrong. And then she went on like a 4-tweet rant. He was white, and he used an AR-15. The NRA is about to say this man had mental health issues, so that the rest of us get scared of anyone with poor mental health and buy a gun in preemptive defense, so that gun sales increase. Shootings don't just happen in schools. Now, she's right, shootings don't happen in school, and she did get that fact right. But it wasn't the NRA that was saying that this young man had mental issues. His guns were actually confiscated from him by the state of Tennessee because of mental issues. And he obtained this AR-15 illegally. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details. All the news has been all about the details. And I just want to point out some of these flaws in her logic. And it's not that I'm going to go out and buy a gun to protect myself against mentally unstable folks. I'm going to be armed myself to protect myself against the pro-gun control folks, because they believe They believe that the government should be the only ones having guns. And my question is, isn't the left one of the groups, the progressives, they fight against government? You know, the Antifa, you know, they fight against the government. And they turn around and want only the government to have guns. It just, again, there's no common sense in these folks whatsoever. The second tweet, they happen everywhere in America, and now one has happened in Waffle House. You can donate all the shooting shelters to schools that you want, but at the end of the day, we can't build the world out of Kevlar. Someone is making mad money off of this. Well, you know what? The pro-gun control groups are making some very mad money off of this with all the donations from the progressive left, the social democrats out there that want only the government to have guns and not the people to be able to defend themselves. Now the rant goes on. See if I can get this. The local police say a man at the scene wrestled his gun away. Looks like you don't need to arm a teacher or a resource officer to stop a shooting. There goes the sales pitch for Smith & Wesson Corporation. And again, it's coming from a false premise. How many times has this actually happened where an unarmed person took away the weapon of an active shooter? It's almost unheard of. And if it was something that actually happened more often than not, you'd think we would hear something about it more often than not by the pro-gun control folks out there, but we don't. We don't hear it at all. And finally, the fourth one she puts out here, and I do have a fifth one I'm going to show you, but it goes back to the Smith & Wesson comment she made. Removing the assault and semi-automatic weapons from our civilian society, I'm going to stop reading there. AR does not mean assault rifle. It stands for Armalite. Armalite rifle. They can't even get basic facts right. And assault is an action. It's not a noun. An M16 is not an assault weapon. It is a military grade weapon, but it is not an assault weapon. Because what you do with it defines what it is, as far as the activity you're using it for. Instituting thorough background checks, NRA push for that, folks, and they're the ones that got that in there. Mandatory waiting periods and raising the buying age and banning the production of high-capacity magazines are the ways to stop shootings in America. Well, if gun violence in the UK is on the rise, up 16%, and they've banned all these guns, what does that tell you who has the guns? I know it's cliche, but it's the truth. I mean, truth is truth no matter how many times it's said. When you ban the guns from everybody, only the criminals will have guns. And banning the production of high-capacity magazines. Look, folks, I've been doing a lot of research on this lately. There are folks out there with 3D printers that are making magazines for their M16s and their high-capacity magazines that they're doing on a printer, on a 3D printer. So banning the production of them isn't going to stop them. And that's not the answer to begin with. It never has. Guns confiscation, gun control has never been the answer. Look, evil people are going to do evil things no matter how you slice it, right? All right. The last one I have up here, this goes back to the Smith & Wesson. Goak's dad went to Springfield, Mass. To the headquarters of Smith & Wesson where the AR-15 that killed his son and 16 other Eagles was built. He wanted to paint a wall so the employees would see what their work caused. He was denied the permit. His son was denied a life. Now, this is rhetoric. I mean, this is unneeded rhetoric at the highest levels. Smith & Wesson did nothing wrong. Smith & Wesson is producing a legal item in the economy. People buy that legal item in the economy. Just because somebody used it illegally and has been caught, apprehended, and is being prosecuted as we speak, shouldn't cast a shadow on everybody else, and it doesn't put the blood on Smith & Wesson's hands. And this is what the gun control advocates want you to believe. They want you to believe that this whole episode here, we can blame the gun manufacturers, and there's a reason why they want to do this. They want to blame the gun manufacturers so they can go after them. So they can go after them and do what they do best, I guess. And it's nothing good. It's nothing good to allow citizens to go back and sue the gun manufacturer when the gun manufacturer had nothing to do with it. That millions of Americans own AR-15s or M4s, that style of semi-automatic weapon, and do nothing illegal. Do not go around shooting people with them. And again, if you look at the stats, more people are killed by handguns than they are by a rifle. Matter of fact, again, I shared this on Friday's show, this past Friday's show, that the CDC put out a report that it didn't publish. People had to go dig for it, but they put out a report that they didn't publish, saying that there's more defensive use of firearms, around 2 million or more, that thwart crime. So all these pro-gun control advocates, including Emma Gonzales, can put that in their pipe and smoke it. They really can. And it amazes to me how Emma Gonzales is still relevant when she gets so many of the facts wrong, so many of the data that they just keep saying over and over again. And hopefully, eventually, they think it'll come true, just like with Donald Trump. They say Russian collusion enough, people think that it'll stick. And it just hasn't. And it's insane to think that it ever will. Folks, if you like this video, please subscribe to it. Hit the notification button so you know when I put out new videos. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. And by all means, please leave a comment. I love your comments. I comment on a lot of them. The last Emma Gonzales video I did, there was over 600 comments in. I try to answer every one of them that needed answered. Share my video. This is the way I get known with my videos. And if you like and you like what I'm doing, you want to support me, I have a Patreon page set up, and I also have a PayPal account set up that you can do both of those. So please subscribe, comment, thumbs up, thumbs down, and support. And folks, that's all for this video, and we'll see you in the next video. God bless, and have a very good day.